not a writer.
Okay.
For those who
what we do here is go back.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
What's going on, everybody? Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. You've made it. It might even be Thursday where you are. Half the week's over. It's the downside of the week. Thursday and Friday. And it's the weekend. So congratulations on making it through the week. I know I've needed a congratulations making it through this week. Anyway, welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. And if this is maybe your first time watching or maybe seeing this afterwards, I build cool models. I make cool stuff. Hopefully you learn something, and maybe even in a remote possibility you might actually be entertained. I don't know. We'll try, right? So first things first. Hashtag chisel discipline. If you guys have not seen the chisel discipline design that I posted a little bit earlier today, people are having some fun with it. Having some fun. There's a unintended innuendo, I guess, right? Cap your chisel. If you're an adult, you figure it out. We'll just let it ride. I think it's hilarious, honestly. And I already have ordered a prototype of it. And if it's all good, if it looks great, if it prints nice and all that, expect it in the store. So I think it's really cool looking. I was real happy with the design that I came up with. I kind of went for that kind of 80s kind of technical manual look, you know, has the Helvetica text on it, and you know, it's a little faded looking and everything, color-wise, so I dig it. I like it. I just like looking at it. I think it's funny. And I think with people having fun with it and coming up with the innuendo, I think it's just even better at that point. So congratulations on you guys for making a funny out of it. So there we go. All right, cool. So hey, you know what? Let's get into it. Repping my boys, man. My Gumbo Talk guys. Look at this. You know, you got Jim and Boo, Gumbo Fixation, me. There's Justinius Builds right here. Simon, Gundam UK. You got Zach here, who's participating in South Korea's GBWC this weekend. So pulling for him. And then you've got the infamous Josh Dara over here on the end. So, man, my boys. So if you want a Gumbo Talk shirt, hit up the Child of Mecha store, childofmecha.com. Hit the store link. You'll find that and many other shirts in there that are really awesome. Some accessories, hats, and bags and things too. So get to clicking. Anyway, tools that I use on the stream tonight can be found in the Amazon link below on YouTube and on Facebook, and a little bit later on Twitch. And basically it's, you know, my affiliate page on there. I've sourced a bunch of different cool, amazing tools and books for your inspirational purposes. And we'll take a look at one tonight from a pretty famous designer and modeler. You'll see in a second. But a bunch of stuff on there. Anything you buy, there's a little commission. Not much, but a little bit. It helps, and it helps support the channel and the live streams and everything like that, and making things better. I think it's good now, but it can be better. It can definitely be better. I'm talking to you, camera. Yeah, you. No more out of focusing tonight. Anyway, let's get into who's in the chat. Let's look at that first. We've got the usual suspects. I saw Bailey in here. I saw Captain Weirdbeard. Saw Gamer Bud, Robert LaFlash. Man, a bunch of people looking good, man. Let's see. Gamer Bud. What was he talking about earlier? He was saying snapping an Ifrit Schneid. Pretty cool. I guess the high grade? Because the master grade was P Bandai. I'm only guessing. Let's see, what else? He said, I just got done sanding, cementing, puttying, and masking the Blue Destiny Unit 3, and he's bagged up, and he may prime it tomorrow. Awesome. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Robert LaFlash, I'm getting back to priming the arms on my Rick Dom resin dress-up kit. Nice. Respect. Love resin kits. Gamer Bud says, oh, by the way, Chopper Mech, I was looking at getting one of your shirts and wanted to ask about the quality of the print and how light or heavy the shirts are. I think I want the Giant Robots shirt. It's a good selection. Robert LaFlash, thank you for the mini testimonial. He says they are great. Yeah, Robert says, good weight, and he has about 20 of them now. Yeah, real stuff. Real stuff, yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But speaking of the shirts are great quality, man. They're not flimsy shirts. They're quality shirts. You know, they've got some weight to them. You know, they're not going to, you know, fray or give out or, you know, get thin in areas where some other shirts are. Man, these are good quality, nice shirts by Gildan. Sizing charts are all over the place, and man, the prints are great. The prints hold up real nice. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting one, I highly suggest it. Look at that, Robert's rocking the Midnight Fenrir tonight. Nice, I love it, love it. Yeah, I know. Gamer over here on YouTube, he says when I was talking to the camera, it went out of focus. So yeah, it's definitely mocking me. Bailey's still detailing his master grade Zaku F2.0. It's a good kit. It's a good kit. Very fine kit. All right, so let's jump into the book. Like I said, this one is by a pretty famous designer and modeler in his own right. So switch over to camera 2. Oh, it locked up. Camera 2 locked up. Hang on. What are you doing to me, camera? Nope. Shoot. Okay, hold on, people. Ay, ay, ay. What are you doing to me? There we go. Incredible. Gotta love Canon's software. Anyway, check it out. This book is called Abakan, I don't know, 2288, Calamity's World of Mecha Design Part 1. Calamity, if you don't know, Luca Zampriolo, very kind of popular mech designer, builder, does all sorts of crazy scratch building, resin kits and things like that, and just has kind of really made a name for himself in the design community and also the modeling community over the years. Funny enough is that when I had the forums back early to mid 2000s, Luca actually got kind of his start on the Child of Mecha forums. Bit of trivia for you. Bit of trivia. So I was, you know, it makes me feel good seeing somebody that started on there kind of progress to a pretty well-known name. And, of course, having multiple books and multiple kind of spotlights in other books, right? So we're going to go through Abacon 2288. Ton of good stuff in here. Nice soft-bound, soft-cover book here. Let's just jump into it. Let's see. Get into the first few pages here. Now, there's like a whole kind of mythology that he's written about kind of the Abacon, I guess, world, if you will. And it's definitely somewhat interesting, but the designs are really kind of where it's at, right? So you got a really nice, you know, double spread design here. Really cool stuff. Very, I guess, mech warrior-ish, battle tech or whatever that may be. It's got some environments in the beginning, but that's not the really good stuff. Although it is really good, that's not really the stuff that we want to see. We want to see robots, right? So here's the start of things. And what's really cool is that down here in the information, he tells you kind of how he actually made the designs and things. So you know, he gives you, you know, what kind of media he used, what kind of tools that he might have used, you know, pencil and paper, and then digital painting for this one here, and some other, you know, different techniques and all that good stuff for these other ones. So it's really interesting, you know, to read some of the things and how or what he did, you know, to come up with some of these designs. And let's see, let's get to the good ones that we know, or at least that you should know, right? It's got some vehicles, got a bunch of Bagel robots, you know. Okay, so this is where it's cool. So trying to see where it starts. It starts right here. All right. So this mech design that he did here is called the Schnabel gun, and I think I'm saying that right. I don't know, but it's one of his original designs. And what he did was he made the model just completely out of scratch. You know, just scratch built everything. So he used putty, he used plastic, he used parts from other models, and then he resin cast a lot of these parts and, you know, sub-assemblies into bigger assemblies. And just the detail that he gets into in some of these parts is just insane. Just wild stuff. And this is one of his earlier models too. So this is, for him, simplistic. So you'll see kind of the progress as we go along here. Some more of the kind of the cleanup. These are more cleaned up stages of that Schnabel gun. There's starting into paint processes and stuff there, and then obviously to the final piece. And man, when he does weathering, he just goes crazy on the weathering. Does wild colors and decals and all sorts of interesting aesthetics, different kind of paint schemes for the Schnabel gun. There's a nice red one that's pretty damn cool. Let's see, which one is this? This is the Schnabel gun 2 that he came up with. Some different designs here, and it gives you a little bit closer look in terms of the different parts and things. Really good stuff. It shows him pulling apart from one of the molds over here, right there. Different takes on different designs and things. You know, he just comes up with a ton of different weird, kooky designs. Not anything that we would necessarily be familiar with in terms of Gundam and, you know, I guess if you want to call it traditional mecha modeling, but this is definitely kind of outside the box. And, you know, just a ton of spotlight on the different parts and things. You know, he uses springs, and he uses, you know, pieces from tanks. Like these are tank assembly parts for, you know, the gears and the legs and things like that. Just very, very incredibly creative person, Luca. And man, it's just looking at his work is just kind of jaw-dropping. The level of detail that he's able to create in these things, and some of the paint jobs as well, just really insane. And like I said, you know, he's an ace kind of when it comes to weathering and stuff. He's just got that touch, man. Okay, so here's the Briegel section, and this is kind of where his kind of resin kits really kind of took off. Is the Briegel. That was, I think, the first one that really, I think, kind of got widespread attention. But just, again, super level of detail. He used a ton of different parts from a ton of different things. It looks like some of these, like, red parts are probably from maybe a Zaku or maybe a Sazabi, I don't know, maybe some other kid, who knows. But it's definitely plastic. And, you know, he's just crazy amount of work goes into these designs. And as you can see, I mean, he makes bases for these things too. Just a superb builder. Very, very creative. I mean, there's not much else to say. I mean, the guy's incredible. The guy is incredible. And you can maybe, Robert LaFlash, you can maybe find some of his kits maybe on the secondary market, like eBay or something like that. But they're going to be hard. They're going to be hard to find, and they're probably going to be really expensive because they were expensive to begin with. You know, he's kind of got, you know, like a figure, and he made this crazy whacked out helmet, and just, you know, out of pieces of plastic and then sculpted putty, and then just, you know, basically went to town with other tools, and just really, just an amazing artist. Let's see here. Let's find the one. He's got some really cool, kind of technical looking ship designs. Very kind of animation-like, this one. And yeah, see, look at these. Like, he actually made that ship out of putty and other materials. Just, you know, he's a scratch building ace, man. You know, he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook. I see more of him on Instagram than Facebook nowadays, but just super inspirational type of book here. And what's cool is he's got spotlights on the back here from different artists that have done, you know, that have built his models, which is really cool. So you got Ryu Sung Ho, Creature Mania. I'm not familiar with him, but man, looks lovely. You've got Matt Tomzek. Definitely know Matt. Not Mrozek, Tomzek. Same level, same caliber level. Tomzek you don't see too much anymore. Mrozek you see painting figures and stuff. Let's see. Jason Stallnacker, MZ3. Not familiar with him, but man, again, great work. And yeah, awesome book. Abacan 2288. Great book. Great book. You know, color images, sketches, and things like that in here too. Just the details. Amazing details. So that's the book for the night, kids. Hope you enjoy it. You can find that on the Amazon link that I provided to you in the description, on YouTube and on Facebook later or on Twitch, I should say. Let's see. What else? What's going on in the chat, you guys? What are you guys doing over here? Looks like Andrew Smith is watching. Wish I could watch the whole stream tonight, but weather knocked out my main internet. That's sad. I have feels about that. I'm sorry. Let's see. What are you guys doing over here on YouTube? You guys are talking a bunch. Yeah, JGrizz615 over there on YouTube. Yeah, man, I think I went through... Oh, I went through the Frame Arms book. Oh, wait, Frame Arms book. I don't think I have gone through the Frame Arms book. I have not. I went through the Border Break book, not last week or the week before, but I haven't gone through the Frame Arms book. So you haven't missed that. I'm not going through it tonight, so maybe on another stream. Maybe Friday. That might be a good one. Might be a good one. I think we'll have to do that. So, good call. Hey, thanks for watching, JGrizz615. Appreciate you. Let's see. What are you guys... What else are you guys doing over here? Yeah, he's everywhere. His Votom's Fatty is featured in Ammo of Migs in Combat Mecha's Volume 1 book for weathering. Interesting. I've not seen... Well, I've seen the books, but I've not actually looked at them or had a chance to dig into one of those. Great example of salt chipping. Yeah. Luca is just... When it comes to weathering, Luca is amazing. Luca's amazing. So, cool. All right. So, now that we're caught up on the chat, and we've done our book show and tell, let's get to modeling. All right, so you saw me post pictures of the arm, the right arm, the one with the beam saber rack, right? So, let's get you zoomed in. So this is all done, right? It's got all the detail that I want. I scribed some panel lines. Excuse me, just some simple panel lines here on the side. There you can kind of see them. Just a 2-line scribe. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Just wanted some kind of open space there to give your eye a visual rest. Because that's important. If you just pack on detail and greeblies and little bits and pieces here and there, it's just going to look like just a mess. It's going to look like Kotoki puked on it. And mind you, I love Kotoki. But you do want to give the eye a visual rest in different parts. So I went simple on this side. I went simple on the top of the hand. I just put a little bit of plastic strip there and beveled that around. Scribed, did an outline scribe on it. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. Up here, you know, complex, right? So I put a little bit of a Kotobukiya plate detail right here on this little bit that pivots there. And I did a little strap right here on this piece. And I think that's all I did on this outside of the last stream. And duplicated the backside details for the tricep. And then, of course, just re-chiseled the details on the side. Nothing crazy. So this arm's done. I'm digging it. So what we're going to do next is to start work on the second arm. So I was looking at this the other day, and this is going to be very similar to the other arm, but there's going to need to be a few differences. Like all of this here, you know, this little piece right here on the inside of the forearm, this piece right below the elbow, and then obviously the upper arm. That's just going to be duplicated, just like from here. Same. But where it's going to be different a little bit is along the sides, because this is the arm that has the kind of ammo, the magazine rack. So it is going to be a little different from the other arm. So what I think I'm going to do with this is to keep it pretty simple, right? So let me mock this up, get this kind of put back together so we can see what we're working with here. So I'm going to try to keep it roughly the same. You know, because you don't want, you want a little bit of asymmetry, but man, if you go crazy and just make it wacky looking, it's just not, it's not going to look great. It's just not. So we need to get the cuff on there first. Alright, and then this piece slots on right on top. Okay, so there you have the magazine rack, which these just kind of pop in here like that, and then there's 3 across, right? So glued those earlier. Those just need to be sanded and kind of rescribed. Nothing crazy. But the big thing is here, it's going to be on the front, it's going to be on this back portion here, and then I need to figure out what we're going to do here on the sides, because obviously, oops, not in frame, sorry about that. Because obviously it's going to be different. You know, we're not going to have, you know, the armor, extra armor pieces here to cradle the beam saber, right? So, what we're going to do is let's try to get the, come on you, there we go. Let's try to get the scribes in first on these. And we'll just do a little work on this because you guys have seen me work on these parts here. So I'm not gonna redo you know, those details here. I'll do that off stream, and it'll look amazing, hopefully. Anyway, visor. Always grab the visor. Second set of eyes here. All right. So here is this is actually the scribing jig that I made for the right arm here. So what I did, since I knew these pieces were identical on both sides, I made this jig to fit around that and kind of cradle that part, right? And then the scribe just goes around there, and then boom, there it is. Perfect on both sides. Easy peasy. So, I'm going to see if I can maybe use this scribing jig, but what I need to do is mark it for the termination points, basically where the end of the actual piece intersects with the jig itself. So that's going to be really important to reusing this jig on the other arm, because I want these, obviously I want these lines to look the same, right? But with there not being you know, these armor pieces on here, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So if I can make that job a little bit easier, then it'll all be worth it in the end. All right, so we've got our points, our termination points marked here. Let me just make sure they're all the way through the piece so I can see them both sides. There. And come on, you. Right there. All right. Perfect. So now, let's see if I can get this to work here. Right there. So essentially what I'm doing is I've made, and it's going to be impossible for you guys to see it on camera, right? So I've made termination points here. Here and here. So right where those pencil marks are, that's where the ends of the other piece are. So theoretically, if I were to match these up with the same points on this other piece, I should, in theory, get the same exact panel line. Same orientation, same length, whole nine. So let's see if we can swing this here, because I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. I'm not feeling this right now, people. I am not feeling this. Let me see something here, because I have a feeling. Where's the arm? I don't think these parts are perfectly parallel. I don't know if the ammo rack is parallel to the actual panels itself. So let's take out our good old caliper, and that will let us know if that's perfectly square or not. It looks square. It looks square. Let's work. Let's figure this out. That's part of this. That's part of modeling, is figuring this stuff out. All right. And that breakpoint there is the same. So what I'm looking for are reference points on the kit itself, right? So right here, I'm lining these two up. Right here is a corner on this piece, right there, which matches up to the corner of the armor on this piece. So they're the same length, same orientation, the whole nine. It looks to be parallel, so this technically should work. But for some strange reason, I am having a hard time getting this locked up. Ace Schultz Burkana is on YouTube. Welcome, B. Trying to figure out some scribing here. Okay. Let's see. Let's go from the other side and see what we've got here. That is 9mm. That is also 9mm. Okay, so trying to figure out the orientation of these things here. I'll double check this piece for parallel. Yeah, this piece looks parallel. Well, it is parallel, but to my eye, it doesn't necessarily look perfectly parallel. I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good on camera. Tough. Tough. This is a tough one, people. And sometimes you run into this, especially with customizing and scratch building and all that other fun stuff that we like to do. Let's double check this. Yeah, that lines up perfectly with those 2 points. So why isn't it not lining up here? That's what I want to know. There. There. I think we're going to have to go with it. I think we're going to have to bite the bullet on this one and just go with it. Commit. But before we do that, I need to tack this in with just a little drop of super glue. just a teeny tiny drop, because we want to be able to remove this afterwards. It's clogged up. Shoot. I'm just going to snip the tip. Mazel tov! I don't know if you people understand that, but... Alright, so there is a little drop of glue. And we just want to kind of we don't want a lot on there. We just want a little bit. Just enough. Just a little bit. Let the glue flow. No, not in this case, man. Not in this case, man. We need it to stay in one spot. We need it to be accurate. Come on, come on, come on. About there. Alright, that has got enough sticking power to it. Now we're going to scribe. Alright, so 0.15. Matthew Shropshire, welcome. So this is where the party is happening. Yeah, for the most part. For the most part, man. Well, welcome and thank you for watching. Let's get on this and see what we can do with this thing here. So just simple initial scribes first, just to get the groove in. Just to get your groove on. And then flip it around. We're going to do the other side. Yeah, I didn't like that, where that was. So sometimes you just got to pop it off. Just kind of freehand this. So that's what we're doing right now. Kind of freehanding. Still using the guide and everything, but holding it in place just with my hand. So, let's see. Oh, am I happy with this? I don't know. Let's compare notes, shall we? There we go. It's not terrible. That's not terrible. You see a little, obviously a little glue residue on there. Yeah, Kyle, drop of glue, yeah, exactly. It's just like a tack weld. You're just holding it in place. And like you just saw, I just popped this thing off like nothing. You know, you come back, sand that off real lightly. Nothing. It's like nothing. So, okay, so I think I'm happy with this so far. Took a little bit of fiddling. And I think, honestly, I kind of psyched myself out a little bit before I actually committed, you know, to the scribe itself. I think I was overanalyzing. And, you know, that just happens. That just happens. And you will. Once you get into kind of deep customization and things, you'll overanalyze. And you'll second guess. But at the end of the day, you just gotta pull the trigger. You know, you gotta commit to it. So that's what we did. Camera focus. Camera focus. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Philippe Oguera over there on Facebook says, "Hi, Ghost. Great stuff, man." Hello. I don't know who Ghost is, but that's cool. All right. Rock and roll. So, getting back to this, like I said, you're going to second guess yourself. You're going to question whether or not you did it right. Hell, you may even question your own ability as a modeler. And that's normal. Don't feel bad about that. We do that. I do that. I do it actually quite a lot. I look at, I look at the work that I've done, and I wonder, like, what could I do better? What could I do different? And, it just is what it is. I think all artists, no matter what kind of genre or what have you, always questions whether they're good enough or not. And I think that's natural, and I think that's good. Man, it's warm in here tonight. Yeah, the camera, it's tough because I'm holding Ace Schultz Burkhan over on YouTube. He says the camera's a little off when I'm scribing. Yeah, unfortunately it is. It's a little off simply because I'm kind of holding it and moving and all that around. So it's tough. I will try my very, very best to keep it in one position and hopefully on camera. But I'm just kind of scraping off this excess super glue here, just trying to get the most off that I can. So, all right. So that looks good there. I'm happy with it. Or I'm happy as I'm going to get. Let's put it that way. Let's check in over on Facebook. Lee Zhu, welcome, sir. Thank you for watching, buddy. Appreciate it. Filippo Guerra said, Mint Child, you're using BMCs. Yes, these are BMC chisels. I really, really like them. And that's what I use. Mainly because I got invested in them early. And, I just kind of got caught in caught in with that brand. But those work great. I really love them. MadWorks are great too, so great alternative as well. So GamerBud over on YouTube, he says, oh yeah, I think all of my artwork is terrible and it could be better, literally with every piece of work I do. And then Burkana says, every artist does that, GamerBud. Yeah, it's true. Every single one. Every single one I know. No matter how good they are, no matter how prominent they may be, there's always that thought in the back of your head whether or not it's good enough. It just is what it is. So, Burkana says BMCs are not as expensive as they used to be, and yeah, MadWorks are great too. Yeah. Let's see. Filippo Guerra over there on Facebook says, can you do this on round surface as well? I use BMC, it's great, but I lost it. Oh man, you lost one? That's terrible, man. I'm sorry. That's a tough break. Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely scribe on round surfaces, like Zaku shoulders and things like that. Had to do a lot of that on my last year's GBWC entry, the Ozymandias. So take a look at the whips on Facebook or on chowdamecha.com, and you can kind of see what I mean. But yes, you need to be extra careful. You need to take certain precautions, especially when you're scribing on curves and curved surfaces. But absolutely, you can definitely do that. Oh, look at that. VFX10 Viper subscribed on YouTube. Paching! Thank you, Viper. I appreciate that, buddy. What Burkhan over there on Facebook, he said, I just did that a lot. Tim's jig idea is really helpful for that. Oh, yeah, scribing on curves and stuff. Yeah, definitely. And Bracana over on Facebook, because he's on both, because why not, right? Said U-Star has some nice basic beginner sets that's really good too. I think it's like $50 for 5 chisels. That's not bad. That's, you know, pretty damn good. Oh man, I'm reading the YouTube chat, and Robert LaFlash, he says, well, this hump day went from good to bad. Brand new compressor just went poof. Damn, dude. That's a tough break. What kind of compressor was it? Was it a cheapy compressor, or was it like a known brand or something? Huh. That's a tough break, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. So Philippe over there on Facebook, he says, wow, you got to try that. Thanks, bro. You're welcome, man. Definitely look at the website. You'll see a bunch of different kind of techniques and stuff like that on there. So Lee Zhu says, I'm tempted to give my BMCs away. Why? Why, Lee? I like them. Maybe moving to MadWorks? You have to be careful with BMCs. That's the main thing. But if you have a kind of a soft touch, gotta treat them right. Gotta give them some love. They'll definitely do really, really well. Obviously. But kind of there over on YouTube, he says, "Oh no! Hope you can get a new one. DOA, it happens. Dead on arrival. Yeah." Oh, cool. Robert says, thanks to Amazon, he'll have him replace it. Awesome. What kind was it, Robert, if you don't mind us asking? Oh, Lee, you don't use them. Lee over on Facebook. Wow. If you're looking to get rid of them. I'm just saying. All right, let's get back on this. Let's get this scribe done, because for some reason, I'm just not feeling this side of the arm right now. I'm not super happy with it. So let's get that little tack weld drop of glue on here. We're just going to spread that out so it's nice and thin all the way across, right? Robert on YouTube says it was a Masters brand 4-piston. Amazon is great for the returns, but man, you got to be careful with the Masters stuff, because it's inexpensive. You know, I don't want to say cheap, but it's inexpensive for a reason. Let's put it that way. All right, let's see. I think this is probably going to be lined up a little bit better. Hopefully. Maybe. All right, let's see if we got parallel. We do not. Son of a bitch. Ah. And the glue dried. So that's one issue that you may run into. You need to get these things positioned a little quickly, because since the glue is so thin and it's super glue, it will cure very, very quickly. So you need to get it positioned somewhat quickly as well. So I'm going to try this on a take 2 kind of action here. And right about there. Come on. Tack on, tack on, tack on. You biscuit eater. Son of a bitch. This is not going my way tonight, people. You ever had one of those nights that just you can't win at anything? Well, that's tonight, man. It is hump day like a mother. All right. That looks good enough. Good enough. You know, in the words of a wise man, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. Oh, Lee, you moved away from Gunpla, huh? Oh, the minis? Come on, dude. Come on, man. The minis? You're killing me. Got us a mini painter in the on the stream, everybody. That's okay though, man. Minis are cool. I totally respect some of these, you know, heavy hitter painters in the mini world. Like I actually follow some on Instagram, and man, some of the works that these guys come up with, the paint jobs and the artistry and stuff, is just off the charts. But I say, whatever floats your boat, man. All right, so we're gonna pop this off here. Hopefully it'll come off easily. All right, so we're gonna put that off to the side real quick. We're gonna, there we go. Cool. All right, we're just basically just using your fingernail. Most of this glue, this super glue, will just pop off. It's really, really easy to kind of just scratch off the plastic surface because this is still pretty smooth. So, and we'll get that here, the rest of that here in a minute. But in the meantime, let's finish these lines off here. God, that just sounded like an 80s, a bad 80s drug movie. Let's finish these lines off here. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. or something. Right. I think this is lined up. I think this is lined up better than the other one. All right, I'm much happier with this side than the other one. All right, and what I'm doing is on the edge of the plastic, when you run a line off the edge of the plastic, right? Let's try to get this focus here. So, let's see. All right. So where's the light? Where's the light? Where's the light? There's the light. Okay, so when you run a line off the edge of the plastic, right? So I'm running it to this kind of indented corner right here, right? That you don't want to stop there because that line represents a separation in two armor panels, right? So what you got to do is separate it on that edge to fulfill that illusion. That's really important because if it just stops and there's no edge separation, you're going to see it. Someone's going to see it, and it's just not going to look right. You know, an average viewer may not notice it, but they'll usually subconsciously think that something's weird, something's off. So it's important to do those edges, scribe those edges, and you can freehand those most of the time because they're thin. They're like 1 millimeter thick, like this piece, right? So that's insanely important. You want those lines to make sense, and you want that illusion in there. Great, that just ramped off out of the thing. Man, this is just not going my way tonight. I don't know. It's cool though. Problems can be fixed. So if you guys didn't notice, the chisel just ramped out of the piece, and you can see that nice scar now all along the surface of that freaking piece. So that's fun. Chisel discipline. So now what we've got to do is I'm going to sand that down, but I'm going to wet sand this piece down. So we're gonna get our little basin of water over here. Let's get you zoomed out. Let's get you to 50 mil. And let's see, we're gonna go heavy. We're gonna go heavy duty. First round of sanding on these pieces. So let's get this nice and wet and saturated and all that. Put that off to the side, and let's go to work on this. Let's clean this thing up here. So you guys have probably seen me wet sand before. Wet sanding is important because it's got a lot of pluses to it, a lot of advantages. Number one, and the reason why I like it the best, is because you're going to get a smoother, or at least I feel you get a smoother surface out of wet sanding than you do just, dry sanding. You're not going to get the dust in the air and going up your nose or in your lungs and everything. And it's just, for me, so much better, just in every single way. And like I said, I'm going heavy. I'm going kind of a low grit right now. And I'm just pretty much just trying to smooth this piece out. Because there was the glue, and then there was the mistake in the scribe. So I'm just trying to even out the surfaces right now. Just trying to get it all nice and smooth. And then we'll go back with some finer grit here in a second. Let's wash this piece off, see how we're looking. And we're going to grab paper towel here, just dry this off. Oh yeah, nice. That mistake where the chisel ramped out of the line is almost gone. So we got a little bit more to do. Let's reapply the water here and let's get to work. Turn it around. So, for those of you that are wondering what ramping is, ramping, when it comes to scribing, is when your chisel jumps out of the line or jumps off the guide or whatever, and it basically scars it can scar the rest of the surface or something like that. But ramping is basically the act of the chisel leaving either the established scribed line or the guide that you've laid down, like Dymo tape or something like that. So that's what, when I say ramping, that's what I mean. It basically, for some odd reason, and it's probably due to debris in the line, is it just basically just hops out and then you're foobarred. Fun. Then you got to do something like this where you got to wet sand the damn surface. All right, but I think we're good there. Let's wash this piece off, dry it up a bit, and then we'll see what it do. Let's check in with the chat, shall we? What is everybody doing? Robert LaFlash, man. He went, that compressor that went up on him, that was $250. $250 bucks. That's not a cheap investment. And that compressor sure as shit shouldn't have gone up on him the first night. Just went, blew up on him. That's a bad break, man. All right. Nice. Okay, so what it looked like before, what this piece looked like before, was pretty nasty, right? We're going to get super zoom in on this action. Let's get it centered up here. And I will get the light shined on this. Let's get over to the right window. Here we go. Super zoom. Bang. All right. So now you can see that that piece is now, again, perfectly smooth. No scarring, no glue remnants, just a nice, smooth, even surface. Back to pristine plastic. Bang! Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we're going to get it out of super zoom, and we're going to get back to work on this. We're going to make this plastic our bitch. All right. Carlo Castro's over there on Facebook giving us the thumbs up. Welcome, buddy. Thank you for watching, too. What are you guys talking about over there on Facebook? Ah, Robert LaFlash. That's what I'm talking about. Gives him a good reason to justify going with an Iwata. It's a good choice. That or Pash, or what do I have? What do I have? I don't even know what I have. Oh, God, what do I have? I don't know. It's a dual valve tank compressor. I've had it for years, like over a decade, right? And the thing's still going strong. But watch, the next time I start it up, it goes. That would be my luck. That would be my luck. All right, let's get this line cleaned up here, because there's now sanding dust, debris, all that in there. We're going to be super careful not to ramp it again, because that would actually be kind of karmic. All right, cleaned up, done and done. All right, so let's wet sand this other one here real quick while we've got the water and all that handy. We're gonna get this get these scrapes and glue off here, make it look real nice, real pretty. Now, as you can see, well, or maybe not, because it's off camera. There we go. So as you can see, I go in a bunch of different directions when I sand. I'll go vertical, I'll go horizontal, I'll go in circles, I'll go diagonal, basically just to vary the sanding pattern. With wet sanding, it's not going to be nearly as big an issue, just because of the way that wet sanding occurs, because you start to create kind of a natural slurry with the dust and the water and all that, and it helps to reduce sanding scratches, and especially if you're using, you know, higher grit sandpaper. This is not. This is actually, I think, 400 grit. So this is actually the lowest sanding grit that I would go ever, honestly. And I don't go down to 400 very often. I usually like about 600 to 800 as a low point, kind of as, well, a starting point, I should say, and then work my way up from there. But with this being wet sanded, it actually gives a much smoother surface than your traditional dry sanding at a grit 400. So I like it just infinitely better than just dry sanding. So let's get the dust out of this piece, and then we're going to clean up some of the other details on this. Good. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So now we've got two, hopefully, matching pieces. Matchy, matchy. Where's the light? Where's the light? I think that's about as good as we're going to get in terms of the light. These dark plastic kits. Terrible for camera use. I don't know why I'm doing this. Let's see. Put that off to the side. Let's check in. What are we looking at? Over there on Facebook. Lenny Ballman. So glad to finally be watching. I'm a first-time builder and I'm an artist. Awesome. I'm watching your stream and drawing Sinanju as we speak. That's amazing. That is awesome. That's super cool. That's just like, that's so cool to hear, right? That's awesome. First-time builder. Welcome. Welcome to the family. Hope you enjoy your time here. I hope you enjoy the hobby. And shoot me an image of the Sinanju that you're drawing. I'd love to see it. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Looks like what do we got some new ones over here on YouTube. Chris is in the house. Chris Wu. Welcome, sir. Good to have you, buddy. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Jay Lynch. Usually, how many times do you pass the chisel? I sometimes go around 5. Great question. So, basically, how many passes does it take to make a chisel or to make a line? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Hopefully someone remembers that, and hopefully someone out there is as old as I am and knows what I'm talking about. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. However many passes it takes, that's how many passes it takes. You want to try and maintain a consistent depth on your lines as well as notching. So some may take more, some may take less, right? On the thinner widths, I find that it takes less to get the proper depth, but with wider widths, it will take more because you've got to shave off just enough to where you've got a nice smooth notch or line or what have you. And that's a little bit more difficult in my experience with wider width chisels, right? So there's no magic number, right? It's just like thinning paint. Each color requires its own amount of thinning. So you will build up a feel for it, and you'll get it. You'll get it. So let's see what else is going on. Now you guys are talking. Jeez. Robert says, I've had the Pash without a tank for about 4 years. It was a great little compressor. Yeah, especially a tankless one. That's not bad for 4 years. That's pretty decent. Chris Wu says, love wet sanding. Make me feel like washing my car. Okay, Chris. It's a weird one, but okay, I'm going with it. Hey, whatever floats your boat, brother. Whatever floats your boat. Gamer Bud, hey, I'm a new builder and an artist. Brother? Maybe. Done and returned. Just have to drop it off at a UPS store. Gotta love Amazon, man. Just okay. Let me just say a word about Amazon because I'm such a big fan. We've got Alexas in the house, right? We've got like the little dots, and we've got like 4 of them in the house, like, and they're amazing. We love that technology. Yes, I know it's listening to you, whatever. I don't care. But man, Amazon is so great because, especially if you have Prime is like one of the best deals out there. And I'm not, mind you, I just love Amazon. There's no better way to shop. Let's put it that way. You return something, super easy. Click, 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 done. And it's off. Just, yeah, if you can, man, Amazon's great. Anyway, back to stream. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now about Amazon. I'm a huge Amazon fanboy, people. Oh, cool. Okay, good. Somebody did get my Tootsie Pop reference. Robert Kyle, thank you for that. Gamer Bud, thank you. Chris Wu actually got it. Good, thank you. Bailey says, "Yeah, I sometimes go back and lightly redo 0.3 and wider. Yeah, sometimes that's what it takes. It just is what it is, and however many passes it takes is it takes." Jay Lynch says, "Awesome, thanks." You're welcome, Jay. Chris Wu says, "AI, it'll take you over one day." Skynet. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's the convenience factor, man. Oh, it's so great. Like, Alexa is just awesome because, you know, you get your app on your phone and you can tell her to add, you know, something to your grocery list or something, and then when you're in the store, you don't have to like remember or forget, you know, something that you needed. Yeah, dude, it's so awesome. And you get like the smart outlets and everything. You can just tell her, hey, turn the lights off, turn the lights on, whatever. Dude, it's just so great. I'm a fanboy. I'll stop fanboying now, people. Sorry about that. All right, let's get back to scribing, shall we? We're gonna finish these two pieces out here. There are molded in notches already. There are two molded in notches right here. We're just gonna clean those up because they're no matter how good Bandai's molding process is, it's never perfect. It's not going to be perfect when it comes to little bitty details like this. These are basically rounded at the bottom, and that's just, it's not great. It's not a consistent look. So what we're gonna do is just this. This is the 0.5 millimeter chisel, right? And let's get you popped back out a little bit. Right there, I think is good. We're just gonna clean these up. We're just going to square it up and make them look consistent with what we're doing throughout the rest of the piece. So originally, these were about maybe 0.4 millimeter, 4/10. But I'm using a 0.5 or half a millimeter, so it does widen that notch just slightly. Which isn't a big deal. I actually think it looks a lot better, just a little wider. Alright, so you might be able to see that there. It's tough. This dark plastic is not forgiving on camera. And the one thing when you're cleaning up these molded in details is that you want to go ever so slowly on these, because since they're kind of rounded at the bottom, they're not completely square in any way, shape, or form. Your chisel can ramp out of that really, really easily. But if you just take your time and establish the squareness of the line or the notch or the shape of it or whatever you're trying to accomplish, then it'll work out much, much better for you. All right. So first piece down, looks good. I don't know if we're really going to do too much more to that. This side of this side of the arm is, or this arm compared to the other one, is going to be much more simplistic. There's not going to be a whole lot more detail that we're going to add to this. At least for right now, I don't think. I could change my mind after the stream and add just a ton more detail, but I don't think I will. Okay, looking good. The back end needs to be squared up just a bit. Didn't go far enough. Okay, now we're looking good. Now we're cooking. Alright, one last one to do. And I think we'll move on from these. Okay. You know, and these molded in details, these are probably the easiest ones to make look good. You know, relatively. It's got its hazards, like I said before, but if you start with these, if you start rescribing molded in panel lines, you'll have a much easier time than trying to create your own. So if you're getting into chiseling or customizing or what have you, start with just rescribing the molded in panel lines, and that way you can kind of get the technique and everything down a little bit before you jump into custom panel lines, notches, all that other fancy schmancy stuff. So let's see. Robert LaFlash says, fanboy is what we all do. Yeah, that's a good point. Burkana says, fanboy is definitely what we all do. No side panels like the other. No, because the rack, let me show you. Let me get this kind of put together here, and I'll show you why it's not going to be any side panels like the other arm. There's just not going to be a feasible amount of room, simply because the rack, the magazine rack, comes down on the sides more. So I'm not going to put the cuff on, but you can see, maybe if I had it in the camera there, let's get zoomed in on that a little bit more. So let's get in a pointer. So you can see how here's the, let's get this cuff on here too, so you can kind of see a better representation of what I'm talking about here. All right. So the cuff is actually, this cuff is actually longer. It goes this way and terminates up here a lot farther than this one does, because the magazine rack comes down so far. You've got a kind of a protrusion, kind of a elevation in height right here on this arm that you don't have present on here on this side. And the problem that I would run into if I did try to put these side panels on or something like them is that the rack and this piece, this is where they separate. So it really just unfortunately wouldn't, it's not feasible, right? So we'll do, I think I'll still do a little bit of detail, on this. Obviously, we've got the scribe, the border scribe that we did here. We'll need to replicate the little latches on the cuff and everything, replicate the upper arms that I'm pointing to off camera, replicate this, scribed in detail here along this side. We might just do something a little bit different, maybe some reinforcement strips or something like it on there. But I think where the main amount of detail is going to come into play for this arm is this surface here, and then this front surface right here. So all of this down here, this is going to be identical on both, because all the dimensions are identical on both of these inside arms. So I think that's what we're going to do. Like I said, this side is going to be much more simplistic, but with what we've built here on this arm, we do need to try to keep that overall aesthetic kind of flowing. So that's definitely what we gotta try to accomplish here, right? So what we're gonna do, let me get this, try to get this damn cuff off here. These things are just a pain in the ass. Come on. There we go. Now we got it. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just lightly scuff up the front of this piece here, so it will take graphite or pencil lead. That way I can draw right on the front surface. And I'm just lightly scuffing it up. I think this is 1,000, maybe 800, something like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the back right here, this back surface. Just because I want to try to get the details mocked in with pencil before I commit to the chisels. And I think, let me see something. I think I've got an interesting idea. Yeah, I've got an idea for this. Okay, cool. Cool. So we're going to scuff up this back surface here too. So I think we're going to do something with that. Okay. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Let's see what we got here. Yes, Robert. That makes Robert over on YouTube says, yeah, it makes more sense now that they're side by side. So the sides of the arms. Chris Wu, well, rescribing a line is basic 101 for people who build resin kit. Yeah, because those details get lost really quickly on resin. Robert LaFleche says, so much more ramping on the resin kits. Yeah. Really? What? That was me again. I turned off notices. Damn Facebook. Zuck is screwing me again. Robert LaFlash says resin kits are bad in their panel lining. Yeah. Or that was Chris Rue. Chris Rue says resin kits are bad in their panel lining. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of depend, like Robert's saying, depends on the casting house, If you get an original, then they're probably going to be pretty clean. But man, recasts, they are all over the damn place. So it hit or miss, really. Okay. So, what we're going to do first. So, this side, you can see it right there. This is kind of a stepped surface here. This surface right here is higher or more protruded than this surface here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a panel line right here where they meet, to make them look like separate pieces. And then what I'm going to also do is then transfer that line across the top here to make it look as if this back piece, there you go, you can see it in the light a little bit there, that graphite line just going across here. That's going to make this back piece look separate. And then what I've got an idea for this back piece is a nice thick 1mm plate, kind of strapping over to the back, but not coming all the way down. Just something to look kind of beefy and a little bit more armored on kind of the back of the elbow, right? So I think that's the idea of what we're going to do, and then we'll figure out what we want to do with this, because I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do with the front yet. So, Burkana's talking about the 1/34th scale full Sazabi resin kit. Now, Robert LaFlash says by Seth Tuna. Well, the one that Seth is working on is a bust, not a full kit, from what I understand. I could be wrong, but I've just seen him do the work on the bust of the Sazabi. And Lee Zero over there on Facebook says Dreamcast recasts are awesome. Cool. Cool. I've heard of Dreamcast in passing here and there. I'm not 100% familiar with them, mainly because I just don't buy resin kits too much anymore, honestly. If there's something that's like really out there, then I may break down and buy it, but I don't get into resin kits too much anymore. I've got some in the stash, mind you, that I need to probably work on one day. Got a 1/48th full kit RX-78 AUTAN version from G System. Legit. And then I got a 172 Hazel with all 3 shields. That's cool too. Chris Wu says full kit for the 1/35th kit is the XS. Yeah, that was by G Systems. There's also a Sazabi. Interesting, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's the Robert LaFlash says, yeah, that's the one that I was thinking of. Bracana then says, I have the link for it, but YouTube hates those. Yes, it does. It hates links. So, yeah. All right, let's get to work. Let's get to work. Now, the first thing that I need to do, since again, Bandai's molding is good but not perfect, so the matchup between these two surfaces is a little fuzzy. It's a little rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hobby knife and just try it as much as I possibly can to square this corner up to really make it nice and sharp, and get as much clarity, I guess is a good word, into this corner. So it's very, very defined. Facebook is killing me right now. Why is it dinging like that? Killing me, Zuckerberg. You're killing me, son. Mute. That is muted. I don't get it. Oh well. That was me again, guys. Sorry for the false alarm. Alright, so this side looks really good. Now we got to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to get as much clarity in that corner as possible. Get it super defined. And that way it'll be easier to scribe a line between these two. Alright, so there's that. Chisel discipline. Hashtag it, love it, live it. Chisel discipline. Alright, let's see. We're going to get a line. Pull it right there. I'm just going to give it a few light passes to start that off. Nice, and there we go. Now we're off to the races. Alright, so now that panel is nice and defined. Looks like two separate pieces on the side there. We're going to do the same thing to the other side here. Let me clean that up a little bit more because I'm not too happy with it. There's a little bit of waviness I'm just not liking right this second. So I'm going to try to get as much of that defined as possible. You want a nice straight line because that's where your scribe is going to, that's where your scribe line is going to live. Right in that nice straight corner. And there, much happier with that now. Now we can pull that line. Start from the other side because I'm not happy with that. Much better. Much better. Awesome. Okay. Now it's going good. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Sweet. Woo! Alright. So now, let's see if we can get the light in on this. So now, you can't hardly see that on camera, or at least I can't. But there's a nice defined panel line right here in that indent. So that will look really good. Back there. There we go. Okay. So another thing that we have to be careful of is this top surface is beveled at a 45-degree angle. So we need to ride those bevels here too. We need to go with the indent of those bevels. So I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. We'll do super zoom once I'm done with this. And it will make much, much more sense. One side down. All right, two sides down. All right, let's get super zoomed in here so I can explain to you what I just did here. Okay, get that centered in the box. 5x. Shablang. Okay, so now, right here, you can see it pretty good right about there. All right, so this top surface, there's a bevel right here, right? So if you were to, there we go. If you were to pull this panel line straight up and around, it wouldn't go, it would go straight like that. It wouldn't go in on this bevel and it would look weird. It wouldn't look like a properly separated piece, right? Let's make sure you guys can see this on the stream properly. Cool. So what we need to do is we need to ride that, the inside of that, shit, get it right down there. We need to ride the inside of that bevel on both sides. So it's actually angled back in a little bit just because of that bevel. And now what we're going to do is we're going to match this scribe to this scribe with a little bit of Dymo tape. And they should be, you know, perfectly even and then parallel to the back surface here as well. So let's get you out of super zoom. Get rid of our box. Back to the stream. Cool. Right, so we need a little bit of Dymo tape here. And we're just going to use a fresh piece. I'm not interested in getting digging into the surplus over here, the scrap bin. So we're just going to cut a piece and let's get the backing off of here. Okay. Toss that. All right, so eyes are down. Let's see what we're doing. And we're going to line this up very carefully. All right, so there's that lined up on the two lines. But the most important thing is that the tape needs to be parallel with this back edge right here. So to do that, to find out if it is, we need some sort of measuring. So what I'm going to do is, this looks like a 2 millimeter gap between the edge of the tape and the edge of the piece. So I've got a scrap 2 millimeter piece of plastic, and we're just going to try and see if this is nice and parallel. And it's not perfectly parallel, so we're going to need to push it down, one side down just a little bit. Now it should be. Let's double check it. Money. That's what we want. That's what we want. All right, so let's commit to this scribe here. Nice and light on the first few passes. Let the chisel do the work. Now we can go to town. Once that line is established and you have a groove for the chisel to ride in, then you can just kind of apply a little bit more pressure and really go to town and deepen that line. Get it consistent with all of the other lines as well. But still need to be careful of debris in the line, or else you'll end up with a ramp for the chisel to jump out of, and you'll mar the surface, and everybody will be crying, and it'll just be bad, and you'll be depressed. You'll never want to model again. Or at least that's the picture that I have in my mind. All right. So now we're just cleaning up these lines a little bit, getting them nice and defined. Make sure we get these bottom edges just to be on the safe side. Just to make this piece look separate, give that illusion of separation, because that's essentially what we're going for with panel lines, to give the illusion of separation. So, all right, so there we go. Let's get just super zoomed in. Get our box, 5x, shablang. Okay, here we go. So now, if I hold this at a good angle, you'll see now that this looks to be separate. Looks like now that is a separate piece on there. And once you go to paint this and prime it and then panel line it and everything, man, it's just going to look like completely separate. It's going to look really, really good. Match that back up to what we've got here on the arm. And now that panel line that we did here on the side now flows down into the natural separation of the parts here, right? So really good stuff. Really good stuff. Let's check in with the chat, shall we? Let's get you out of super zoom first, because that is annoying. All right, so there's that piece. Let's see. Excuse me. Man, you guys are talking a lot, aren't we? Hey, look at this. Okay, let's see. Chris Wu says, let's get chiselnized. He has the best sayings, I swear. Oh, man. Rundus J22. Hey, Tim. I've been following your stuff for a while, but this is the first time I've managed to catch a stream. Awesome. Well, thank you for watching, Rundus. Sorry, Rundus. A Schultz Burkana says, these streams are awesome. Rundus says, I really want to get into detailing and stuff. Well, you've come to the right place, buddy. Burkana says, it took me about a year, and I have to say, just go for it. Everything is fixable. It's very good sage wisdom. I think I've heard that before, haven't I, V? I think so. Runda says, yeah, I totally messed up the handles to my high-grade build strike, which is basically practice fodder, but it's nothing a glue can't fix. It's great perspective. That's a great perspective. And especially the fact that you're chalking up to a practice build, that's great. You've got your priorities in order, sir. Well done. Let's see. The handles to the build booster's rifle, that is. Okay. Berkana says, or putty, or pieces, or mods, or scratch building. I've had a lot of happy accidents, too. You're channeling Bob Ross. Good job, B. Good job. Runda says, I'm probably going to have the handles tucked in anyways. Where's the super soon? Jesus. Runda says, do I work on 144 or mainly 100? 100 for the most part. Yeah. I rarely do 144. It's just not really my scale of choice. I like the bigger pieces, and you can just pack in detail and get really wicked with things, and I just like 100 so much better, master grades particularly, or the RE line. So H. Schultz, big hands, small parts usually don't work out well. That's what she said. Rundus, that makes sense. I'm glad I have not too big hands. Oh my, this is just going off the rails, this conversation here. Chris Wu says, want an intensive practice, go buy a third-party old kit like Tong Li or something. Yeah. Back in the day, before Tong Li or some of the other ones, just the counterfeit kits, there was Bendai. Bendai. Not Bandai, Bendai. Oh, we had some fun with that one. We made fun of that so much back in the day. Chris Wu says, it'll level you up fast. Yeah, that's very true. Those kits are bad, man. Very bad. Bergana says, oh, even like the old 1500 scale Bandai EX ships, they take some work too. Yeah, they do. Check in with Facebook. What are you guys doing over there? Utopia Cast is also, we read that before. Lenny Ballman said, there is a drawing I did of Sazabi. I don't see it there, Lenny. I'm sorry. I don't know. Did you send it to me? I don't know. I can't really check the notifications on the page or anything right now. I apologize. But if it's there, then I will definitely see it after the stream. So thank you if you've already sent it. So I'd love to see more. Cool. Oh, the link is above. Oh. Shoot. My bad. I will look for that also. Good deal. Well, thank you for sending that. That'll be great. I want to see that. That's very cool. Kenneth Sim just came in. Welcome, Kenneth. He says, "Hey, chat. Hey, Tim." Good timing, man. Let's see. What was Kenneth Sim saying? Just done detailing my third-party kit, MCSD XS. Man, that kit was a nightmare to build. Yeah, I've heard about those kits. I have heard about those kits. All right, so let's get back to this guy. Let's see, what width strip are we going to use on this back end here? Because, like I said, I'm feeling kind of, hold up, I might have another idea. Hold up. Okay. Ideas are starting to flow, people. Ideas are starting to flow. All right, so this is what we're going to do. All right, so on this piece, you might be able to see that there's a gap here and here. And that's where this back piece basically slots in like that, right? So what I think I'm going to do is bring up basically just a box scribe off of those marks, similar to what we did here on the arm, you know, and wrap it around here and then stop it at that separation line that we just scribed a few seconds ago. So I know that doesn't make any sense whatsoever to the viewer, but it makes sense to me because I know what I'm going to do. So let's do it, and then I will show you the process behind it. So let's see. We're going to get the ruler out. We're going to measure this gap here and see what the width is, and then we've got to take a little bit off for the lines themselves. Cool. This is perfect. All right, so we're looking at what, 11 millimeters. That's exactly what we need, 11 millimeters. That also gives space for the panel lines that we're going to be pulling down too. So what we need to do, let's get a piece of Dymo first to see to get the width that we need, because this is easier to cut obviously than plastic strip. And we're going to pull, let's see, 11 mil. Right there. Just a little bit more. Cool. All right. And then we're going to pop that stop block over. Oh, and you guys are zoomed in all the way, aren't you? Sorry about that. Let's get you zoomed out so you can see what the hell I'm doing. So that's why you're here. You're here to watch, right? All right. So we got 11 millimeters pulled on the chopper here. Now we're going to square up this edge because I just cut that with a pair of scissors before. So toss that. That needs to be nice and square because we need an exact width. Okay, so there we go. There is our 11 millimeter wide piece of Dymo. Now, this should fit perfectly in this gap, but then also give a little bit of room for the panel lines that we're going to scribe. And that's close. That just needs to just a teeny tiny little bit more off, and then we'll be perfectly good. So we're going to hand trim this ever so carefully. I'm going to need my visor to see this. Okay. Actually, I'm going to cut this on the steel here because cutting that little strip on cutting board is just not working out here for me. All right. So now we've got just a little teeny tiny sliver off of there. So now this should be really good, and it should match up perfect. Bang. Bang on. That's what we want. Perfect. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to pop this stock block over just a hair. Right there. Perfect. And now we're going to cut some strip, some plastic strip here. Square that end up. Pop that. And now this should be roughly the same. Sweet Christmas. That's what we want. All right. So we've got one side down. And that's going to be probably this side. Or do I want it to be this side? I want it to be that side. So let's get a nice, little bit of a thicker strip here. I don't want the 6.3. That's too wide. Let's go with 4. What's 4 look like? Bingo. That's money. All right. So we're going to square up this edge. Pop that. Pop that. And now we've got our two pieces here for this kind of big strap that we're going to do. So we're going to put those off to the side. We're going to put that off. We are still going to keep this piece of Dymo tape handy. So we're going to put that off to the side. We're going to put that little piece, we don't need that right this second. But what I'm going to do first... Man, it's warm in here. What the hell? Oh, yeah, dude. Robert, yes. Sweet Christmas? Luke Cage? Come on, man. Absolutely. Have some coffee. I love that series, man. I love all the Marvel Netflix series. Even Iron Fist. I don't care what people say about it. I thought it was cool. He could have done a better job, sure. But man, I still liked that. I still liked Iron Fist. It was kind of cool. So, what are we doing? What are we gonna do? All right, so man, let's get caught up with the chat here because looks like we got some new folks that came in. Runda says, "Man, I can't wait to get good. I have this Master Grade 00 riser just sitting here, and I have this silly idea for it. Man, practice, dude. Practice, practice, practice. That's what it's all about. It's an old cliche saying, but you got to practice. You got to practice. You got to get those kits in that you utterly destroy, and you don't know how to fix them now, but a couple years down the line, you'll come back and you'll be like, oh yeah, I can fix that now, no problem. I'll make it look better. That's what I did with my Blue Destiny. I built it originally in like 2004, 2005. And I was real happy with it then, don't get me wrong, but then as kind of my skill set progressed, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I just didn't do really good on that, right? And then, you know, the paint started to chip, and then, you know, pieces started to fall off because I didn't know what I was doing back then. So I stripped it and refinished it, and I think it came out really great. It's like one of my probably top 3 kits that I've ever made. So, and it probably ranks higher than some of the kits that you would imagine are probably my 1 and 2. But yeah, dude, just get those kits under your belt, get to practice, and then move on to those passion projects. You'll thank yourself. Let's put it that way. Let's see. M. Nielsen, no such thing as a silly idea. Just go for it. Well, welcome, M. Nielsen. Welcome to the show. Thanks for watching, and very sage wisdom. Rundus says, yeah, for sure, space is a bit limited at the moment, so I need to work towards getting a good setup. Good setup is helpful. Good setup is helpful. But in reality, I mean, the most that you need is a good table, some decent tools, and a nice quiet place. That really is all that you need. And mind you, the table doesn't have to be crazy. This is a $20 table from IKEA with the legs and everything. $20, right? And I can beat the crap out of this table and not feel bad about it because it was $20, right? I got 3 of them set up in kind of like a U shape. So you don't even need that. Just one and just beat the hell out of it. Let's see. Chris Wu says, you know, just put a box vent mimic as pressure release. You lost me there, Chris. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, man. M. Nielsen says, cool looking chopper tool there. Yeah, man, love the chopper too. It's an amazing tool. It's the best. Well, yeah, it's by far the best tool in my arsenal. Yeah. Bergana says the Chopper 2 will help out scratch building in various aspects of modeling like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, it's true. It's true. M. Nielsen says, I would have to import one down here to little old New Zealand. Man, New Zealand's cool, man. I got love for New Zealand. Robert LaFlash says, classic. Much prefer the Power Man version. Yeah. I did like how they... in the first season of Luke Cage, and we're going back to the Luke Cage conversation, I did like the fact that when he came out of that barn and everything, he had the yellow shirt and he had the big fro, like he hasn't trimmed it in a while, and he had that crown thing that he has in the comics back in the 70s and 80s. It was a good throwback. I appreciated that. But man, I love those. I love the Marvel shows on Netflix. I really do. Punisher, oh, it was awesome. So good. Probably one of the best castings in a Marvel show or movie, period. Josh Barenthal as Punisher. It was a good one. Whoever landed that, they deserve a pay raise. Anyway, Robert LaFlash says, it was good. It's the weakest of the four. Probably referring to Iron Fist. I would agree with that. I still liked it, though. Rundus J22, it's just a long-term puzzle, not to mention you get a lot of value spending a lot of time on it. Yeah, the hobby is definitely kind of a puzzle. That's a definite. Chris Wu says, what you need is knowledge, where right tools for the right job, and practice. Totally agree. Totally agree with Chris. Very good. Very good. Robert Flash says, "Yep, that was great. Homage to the old Luke Cage." Bracana says, "Yeah, the Punisher's my favorite," and they're just talking about Marvel shows. I'm not going to get sucked into that because I could talk about that for literally hours. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do a little bit of modeling. We're going to glue these pieces up here, and you guys are not going to trap me into that conversation. So we're going to get good old Tamiya extra thin. Very good glue. And let's get this, oh man, now I'm not 100% sure how I want to accomplish this. No. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for it. We're going to pull the trigger and we're going to go for it. Okay. Get glue applied to this surface. Make sure it starts to activate properly. And get this puppy lined up here. Now, I'm not putting it all the way up to the panel line. I want that panel line, that separation line, I want there to be a little bit of a reveal for that. We need to get this centered because that's going to be crucial in this operation. We need to make sure that it's parallel to that line, too. That's another crucial thing. Because, number one, if it's not centered this way, let's get you zoomed in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking a little bit better. There we go. So, if this strip is not centered this way, then it's not going to be even with this piece that's going to go on here, and it's not going to center up to this gap in here. So that looks pretty good. I think it can be just a little adjustment there. And we're going to see what it looks like here. It's not bad. Let's get actual measurements. It's about just under the mark on the bevel there. Oh, no, it's not centered perfectly. So we're just going to push that over a bit. Okay. Okay. Alright, now we're good. Now we're in business. Okay, cool. So let's make sure this is parallel. And all I'm doing is just kind of eyeballing it on the width of a plastic strip here, right? Because dimensionally, these strips are very consistent. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just eyeballing it up here, and if it looks really good in parallel, you'll be able to tell very simply. So that looks really, really nice. So now what we're going to do, we're going to glue that piece there. But since this is an angle, we need to bevel one side of this strip first, ever so slightly, so it fits perfectly up against that that other piece. So let's screw the cap back on to me extra thin, because spilling that would not be a good thing. And then we're just going to take our sanding block, and this is kind of a coarse grit here. This is probably about 600 or so. And I'm just going to just start to work on the edge here. We just need a slight bevel. We don't need anything crazy. Excuse me. If I did need something a little bit more crazy than what we needed, I'd probably pull out my bastard file and get to work on that, because that will take off a good amount of material in a very short amount of time. But this, it just needs a slight bevel. So we don't need anything that aggressive, right? All right, so let's see what this looks like here. I can already tell that that is much better. That, man, that is almost dead on. That is almost dead on. We actually need to flatten it a bit. I think I went a little bit too angled on that. So, let's see here. So we're just going to angle that back a little bit and take some of that angle alpha there. Try to flatten this up just a bit. Let's see what we've got now. Sweet. That is money. That's perfect. Perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is let's grab this with the tweezers. Now, we're grabbing it at the wide end right here, right? So you want to be careful. I'm not trusting that right now. Let's go ahead and stab this. Okay. I'm going to get Tamiya extra thin out here, and we're going to glue up the sides and that top bevel because we want that to stick to the other plate or the other strip that we installed a few seconds ago here. So we're going to lather that up, get it nice and glued up there, and then we're going to install this. Square that up. Yeah, that is matched up super nice. I'm surprised that this matches up as good as it is. So let's show you what we've got here, because this is probably a first for me anyways. Super zoom. Woo. Let's see if that super zoom will focus. Focus. Damn it. Ah, got out of super zoom. There, now she's focused. Okay, cool. So, look at that. There's like a very minuscule gap in there, right? So to fill that, very, very easy. Take a little drop of glue, just pop that in there. A little bit more. That'll help smooth out the sides too. And what it'll do is it will dissolve just a teeny tiny bit of plastic to fill in that little gap that was there. So we're gonna do the same thing to this back edge. We're just gonna make sure it's nice and glued up. We're gonna sand this down. And I know you guys are still in super zoom, and you probably can't. Yeah, you're seeing my freaking finger right now. Sorry about that. So, like I said, we just put glue on this edge here, right? And see how that how that glue is already starting to dissolve that plastic just ever so slightly, and it fills in that gap. You can't do this. Excuse me. You can't do this with a lot of them, but a gap that small and that minuscule, that'll fill in perfectly, and you'll never know it was there. So that looks really nice. We'll clean up this squeeze out and everything along the edges of that piece. We'll clean that up with the chisel because I'm going to do an outline scribe on this, so that'll all go away once we do that. So quite good, quite good. Get rid of that box there. Let's check in with the chat. What time is it? 12:05. Wow, time has flown by. Crazy, crazy amounts of time. Let's check in with Facebook first and see if anybody is anybody's talking over there. Let's see. No, everybody's quiet on Facebook. That's fine though. I can appreciate that. So let's get into one camera. Let's finish this out. It's getting late here. It's midnight. Let's see what you guys over on Facebook are talking about, because you guys were going off here while I was doing that. Looks like our good friend Yor is in here. Yor Mungander. Welcome, sir. Thank you again for watching. And I hope I said that right. Because I remember the pronunciation help that you gave me. So I appreciate that. I hope I said it right this time. But yours says, I say all you need is practice, knowledge, and time. I have no tools but a knife and sandpaper. Sure, it takes forever to finish anything, but it's doable and can look great if you take your time. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's very, very good advice, because, yeah, it's not, the tools don't make the modeler, right? The tools simply assist the modeler. They make the job easier, right? You could pretty much do everything with this and sandpaper, like yours doing. So, good advice, sir. Good advice. Burkana says, I mean, it takes me 6 to 8 months to build anything with the right tools and supplies. Well, yeah, it probably takes me longer, though, because I'm just slow. Runda says, I heard of people scribing with the back of a hobby knife, and I want to try that. Yeah, that's it's actually how I started. It's not great, let's put it that way. You're never going to really get a perfect line as if you were to use, say, dedicated chisels, right? It's going to be harder, I should say. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a lot harder. But it's good practice. I would say that, yeah. M. Nielsen says, that's what I want to do. Or that's what I do, I guess, with the back of the knife. Yours says, I create my own tools like that. Take a Dremel to the dull X-Acto blade, and you can make a nice chisel if you know how to. Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually funny. That's exactly what I did when I first started out. Come on, Dremel. Got my good old Dremel wand here with grinding bits and everything, and I got a ton of them over on the other side here out of the camera. But yeah, I mean that's exactly what I did too. I took a metal grinding bit to an old X-Acto blade, and yeah, I made some cool stuff. But good call. M. Nielsen, that's a great idea, using glue as filler. It doesn't work in all situations, and you got to be super, super careful with it. That will only really work in super, super tiny little situations like I just showed. Definitely not the best way to fill something like that. It's kind of a cheat. And those are things that you will pick up as you progress in the hobby, though. You'll know when that will work and when it will not. So, let's see. Nice. Yor is the world eater. Skull. Very good. Very good. All right, cool. Well, I think that catches us up. Good stuff. Good stuff. And remember, chisel discipline. Cap your chisels, guys. Cap your chisels. All right, let's see what else. What else? Gunpla Talk. Watch Gunpla Talk. Donate to the Gunpla Talk fundraiser. Win this model. I can't say it enough. We've already gained, I think we're up to about $600 donated so far, and that's awesome, but we've got a long way to go. Long way to go. So if you've not donated yet, please think about it. It goes to a really good cause, and every donor will get entered into the giveaway for that model. So do the right thing. Do what's good. Do what's good. It makes you feel good. Also, you can get this shirt on the Child of Mecha website. So check that out. A bunch of other cool shirts and stuff over there. And if you're interested in the tools that I've used today, check out the Amazon link below. It's got all the tools except for maybe like the chisels and some of the really kind of unique stuff. But pretty much everything else is on there. It's all sourced for you. The book that we looked at today, the Akaban 2288, that's sourced for you in a nice, easy to follow page. Most of those things are on Prime, so if you have Prime, you can take advantage of that. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. Robert LaFlash, great cause. It's an easy way to feel good. Damn right. You're damn right. It's definitely an easy way to feel good. Knowing that all the money is going to, a good cause, a good charity, and that someone's going to win this cool model. Yeah, it makes you feel pretty damn good. I like it. I think we're going to do more of that. So, all right, guys, that does it for tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And if you subscribed or followed or anything like that, thank you for that as well. We'll see you on Friday and start the weekend off right. Maybe go long on Friday, have some fun, and get some more detailing and everything on there. So come on back on Friday, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Check your local listings, obviously. And have a wonderful rest of the hump day and a wonderful week. And I'll see you on Friday. Peace out.